Jack Rito here. I was asked by the Blue Line Club and the Grand Rapids hockey community to interview you after a great Grand Rapids high school hockey career, an extraordinary season. We wanted to put together something out there to get to the fans, the families, and the sponsors to get an up close and personal look into the success of Jack Peart. So thanks for taking the time and finding the time in your busy schedule here, Jack, to give back to the fans and give us a little feel.
Yeah, no, thank you guys.
Absolutely. So I got a series of questions that we'll run through here for you and do the best you can with them. I think they'll be great and easy questions for you, but here we go. So since the high school season has ended, it's been Fargo to juniors, Mr. Hockey down in the cities to get to the banquet down there at Tria. It's been out to Michigan for the All-American game, and it's been back to Fargo. In the past few weeks, it's been back and forth, but give us a feel about how that last couple of weeks has been for you.
No, it's been really cool. I mean, you know, our season ended a game shorter than we wanted it to, but happy with everything that I did and what our team did for the community in Rapids, and just getting to play hockey after that and kind of getting recognized by Mr. Hockey, and then going to play in a game like the All-American game. It was really special, and really thankful for everything that the Grand Rapids community has given me and my coaches in the past and my teammates.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's been I'm sure it's been hectic. It's been busy, but like you said, just all worth it to be able to be recognized and give back to the community with some of this stuff too. It's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Mr. Hockey first. I'm going to set the table here for you. You're the first defenseman since 2009 to win the award. Nick Leddy was the last one to win it. That was a D-man. Okay.
Yeah.
You're the third Grand Rapids hockey player to win it. Aaron Miskovich in 1997, Avery Peterson in 2014, and now you in 2021. And a former coach, Coach Trent Klatt, won it in 1989. Yeah. So I just wanted to set the table for you. Can you share what it means to be mentioned in the company of those four names?
No, it's so cool. I mean, I grew up like watching Avery Peterson. He was one of my idols growing up, and I mean, you never think that you'll be on the same stage as them one day. And I mean, just to kind of be recognized like he was, it's definitely an unbelievable feeling. And no, again, just thankful for the Grand Rapids community, and I mean, that's why I'd say we have so many Mr. Hockeys, is because the community we have and the support and just everything in place in Grand Rapids. It's really a special town and a special community.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because we'll get down the wire here. When we get down the questions, we'll talk about, you know, why it's special to play hockey here. But we'll move on here to the next question. I want you to give us a snapshot, no pun intended, a snapshot of your journey here up to this point. How did you get to this point? The important things in the process, you know, what did you do to improve as a player throughout the course of the years? Some important pieces.
Yeah, I'd say some of the biggest things are the stuff you do off the ice. It's the stuff that goes unseen behind just playing the games, shooting pucks, the weightlifting sessions, and then going out before practice or staying out late after practice or going to the outdoor rinks. I remember, I think I was Pee Wee, my first year Pee Wee. Grant Clafton was my coach, and I'd pretty much get on the outdoor rink anytime I could with him. And I remember it was one road trip. I think we were in Roseau, and we came back late at night, and my dad texted him and asked him if we could go skate on the outdoor rink, and he came and picked me up in my house and drove me to the outdoor rink. So yeah, it's the little stuff that goes unseen that definitely makes you a better hockey player. And yeah, it's big that we have so many outdoor rinks and a nice shooting station in Rapids to hone in on all the skills you need.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's those moments where you're asked, you ask somebody to keep the lights on late for you out at Southwest, or it was the early mornings with power skating with Coach Shimon, which, they drag on. You get them in the spring, you get them in the fall, but it's amazing how much they do for you, right? Those
Exactly.
the things behind the scenes. So let's move on to the next award. And so I'll set the table for you on this award. It's the Reed Larson Award. This award was created back in 2013. It was created to recognize the top defensemen in the state. And because you and I both know, maybe D-man go unnoticed because they don't always get the points, that they should get. Sometimes they fly under the radar because of that, and they don't always get recognized. So again, going back to previous names that we've mentioned, Jake Bischoff was the first guy from Grand Rapids, was the first one actually to be named for the Reed Larson Award, and of course the first Grand Rapids guy to get this. But this put this into perspective. You are the first person to ever be honored with both Mr. Hockey and Reed Larson. So I want you to put this into perspective for a second, and then tell me again, how does it mean? What does it mean to you to be able to say that you're the first one?
Yeah. No, again, it's really special. Like I said, I was watching Jake Bischoff just running around the rink when I was a little kid, and he was my idol. And now he's actually playing professionally, and that's my dream one day, and to be recognized as how he was in high school. It's really cool. And I mean, I don't think all of this has set in yet. I'm still playing hockey right now, and I'm really thankful for that. And but no, it's I don't want to say a dream, but it was a really cool week.
Yeah, well, for sure. It absolutely was. And you mentioned it too, it's you said it at the beginning, the season ended one game short. I'm sure, I know you as well as a lot of other people do, that you're as humble as they come when it comes to great hockey players. And if it were me sitting in your shoes, I'd give any of those things up for the opportunity to play at the Xcel Energy Center. And I'm sure that you would too, but that didn't happen, and you've been awarded, and you deserve these awards. And I think it's awesome to talk about. So I'll just end the Reed Larson portion of this as well. I'd like to say that this award was named after me, but it's not. But I can tell you that I was named after that Reed Larson. So that's my only claim to fame when it comes to the award. So I have that to say, but that's it when it comes to the Reed Larson Award for my name being on it. I'm just proud to be named after the guy, and you've been awarded as the best defenseman in the state. So that's awesome. So this brings me on to another piece that you mentioned earlier on in one of my other questions. We both know Grand Rapids is a special place to play hockey. Can you tell me and the young people that might be listening why you think Grand Rapids is such a special place to play? I mean, think about it. You had the chance to leave and play juniors, and that would have been understandable for anybody in this community because you're at a high level, and that could have been a place for you to develop. But you choose to come home and play with your friends because it's special to play here in Grand Rapids. And I want you to explain why you think it's such a special place to play.
Yeah, I think there's a couple aspects that go into it. Just getting to grow up with your buddies, playing with them through elementary school and youth hockey, and then joining together kind of and getting to make a run at it in high school. There's really nothing like it. I know I'll have lifelong buddies with these guys. Even if we go separate ways, we'll still stay in touch. And I'd say another big thing is just the community support we have. Like if you just look around the rink, all the ads that are up and on the boards and up on the walls, it's crazy. I know every year when you get to high school, you have to go and ask businesses for sponsorships, and it's crazy because every year they're giving us money, and we can't thank them enough because we couldn't do it without them. And I'd say another big thing is just the tools we have in place. We have a skating treadmill. I know it doesn't get used much, but we have a skating treadmill. you can pretty much get on the ice whenever you want if you talk to Dale, and then we just got the pavilion, and we still have a bunch of outdoor rinks. So there's a ton of tools. If you want to be the best, you definitely can develop and get there in our great city.
Yeah, there's no other hockey community like it, and it took me a lot of years to get back home and be able to get back here in Grand Rapids and be part of this program, and stops in a couple of different hockey communities. But the goal was always to come back here because there's no better place to play than Grand Rapids. And
exactly,
there's businesses out there, and we want to recognize those people, and that's part of it. That's part of the journey. The other part of the journey is that, unfortunately, for your senior year, we didn't get to see it. But I can't tell you any other community that gets 3,500 to 4,000 people at home games. That's unheard of in other communities, and in Grand Rapids, I know last year it was that way, and the year before it was that way, but this year not so much because of COVID. But the crowds that we pull in here, it just shows the kind of support, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. My first ever high school game was a home game against Greenway, and just a little 15-year-old coming to the rink and seeing that crowd. It was pretty crazy. I know it took a few shifts to get the nerves out, but no, it's definitely a special place with the crowd and even the band. When the band comes and the whole place is just rocking, it's so much fun to play there.
No, there's nothing like it. That hasn't changed. It's been the same since 1997 and 95 when I played, and all the way back since I started. And the good news is that first high school game that you were talking about, you played in against Greenway, at least you got to start that game out with one shift or one period of JV. I remember Coach Marinucci put you out there, and you got like I don't know if it was 7 goals or 7 points in a JV game, but I remember watching that. It's like, okay, no more JV game, Jack. Fun with that. But then you got to hone it up, and I remember going down to Ann Campbell's office, and that was over 4,000 people. And she said, shh, you can't say that because we're not supposed to have that many people there. There was more than 4,000 people, for sure.
Yeah.
No question about it. So,
yeah, it was cool.
So as a kid, when you grew up, what did you want to be when you grow up? What was your thinking about it? This is what I want to be when I grow up. What did you want to be?
I mean, it was pretty much always a pro hockey player. And
so that's the good news is I figured that was going to be the answer. So what team would you want to play for?
I mean, back in the day, it was probably the Minnesota Wild, but as you get older, you kind of mature more, and I mean, you kind of realize that any NHL team would be special to play for, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's
a smart answer, by the way, because I'm sure that I don't know how far out this video gets out there, but you just never know. You got a whole nother year, as far as I know it, to be able to impress. But when the draft comes out, I'm sure everybody will be excited to hear that you don't have a specific team. You'll take we give you. So sounds good to hear that. So any advice, Jack, that you would give to young hockey players, young student athletes, what advice would you give them?
I'd say, use the tools we have in Grand Rapids to your benefit, and don't blink because, man, it's over faster than you think. Like, I still remember just being a little sophomore and sitting in the JV room, and it feels like a couple days later I'm already done with it. So enjoy it while you have it, and take pride in putting that jersey on every day.
There's nothing better than wearing a GR on the front of you. No question about it. 100% agree with you. So moving on to the next question here, and I think I know the answer to this, but I always like to hear who all of these influential coaches were. Who were some of the most influential coaches that you had through the system, and why were they?
Yeah, I'd say probably the biggest one was my dad. He was the one who got me into hockey and taught me pretty much everything I know today. And I was lucky I got him to lean on when I got home and talk about the game with. I'd say two of the other big ones are Chido, Wade Chido. These past couple of years, just shows you how good of a coach he actually is.
I agree.
His knowledge for the game and the way he coaches is it's at an elite level. Another big coach I'd say is Grant Clafton. Like I said, the extra work he put in for me just to become the player I am today was huge. And he's also a very knowledgeable guy, and thank him for all of his advice.
Yeah, for sure. You're talking about some elite coaches in the area, and I got to tell you that, being involved in a couple of different organizations throughout my career as a coach, there's this place is set aside from any other, that you've got the greatest people to work with in this community, and there's always good news is people always come back. Exactly. I always hope for that down the road after a nice career in the NHL, and then you come back here and settle here. That'd be great. So, is there anything that you'd like to say to the Grand Rapids community, the fans, for all the support over the years, and during a season that maybe we weren't able to have as many fans? Is there anything that you'd like to say to the community of Grand Rapids hockey?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say thank you. Even though you guys weren't at the rink, we still saw all your support on social media, and even just like walking into Subway and people saying good luck next game and stuff like that. Yeah, it really doesn't go unnoticed, and that's why we do have the best hockey community in Minnesota for sure.
Absolutely. So take a tick back here quick. We talked about influential coaches. Is there anybody outside of coaching that you say might have had a real big influence on your career as a player, or even as a person and a student?
Yeah, I'd say probably just my family. Without their support, I couldn't be where I'm at, and all the money and hardships that come along with it. Yeah, they stuck by my side and helped me through everything. Another coach who's not in our program that I want to say thanks to is Scott Pionk. I played with him for five plus years with the Lake Superior Stars, and he's done so much to get me where I am today, and I owe him definitely a lot of thanks for what he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great shout out in a community that, of course, going over to the Hermantown community there, it also has, similar to what we have, people coming out of the woodworks that are willing to give back to a program. That's awesome. It's a great shout out. So another little question here, because it kind of wraps things up here as far as where we are here right towards the end of what normally is March Madness, but takes place here in April this year because of COVID. St. Cloud State makes it to the national championship game. Give me your thoughts on that game, and then what do you expect for the future of St. Cloud State with you coming in next year?
Yeah, I actually wasn't able to watch the finals game, but I watched their game against Mankato, and really proud with what they've done this year, and Brett Larson and just all the upperclassmen and how they have taken the younger guys under their wings. And I'd say that they have sort of a family like we do in Rapids. They're so tight knit, and everyone wants to win so bad. And I'd say in the future, no, it's going to be really fun. We're not losing too many guys next year, and I know both the other guys that are going in there with me, and hopefully we can make the team better and possibly win the national championship.
Well, that'd be a definite goal for everybody, and I don't think anybody doubts the fact that going into a program, like you said, under the helm of Brett Larson, by the way, is one of the most humble coaches in the NCAA, that is very excited to have you coming in under that direction. Just in a couple of short years being in the Frozen Four and the national championship game, I see a lot more to come, and I'd like to see 4 more in a row for the Final Fours where Jack Peart gets to go. So just to kind of wrap things up here a little bit, just something that I've observed and a lot of people have observed just in my last couple of years here, but I'm sure people have observed this over your entire playing career. Your grandparents didn't miss a whole heck of a lot of games, did they?
No,
Even
they didn't.
at the time of COVID, any special thank yous there that you would want to shout out to those people, especially during COVID, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And so Rick and Carol, they live in Balsam, Minnesota. So they were pretty close to home, and they made pretty much every one of my games if it was home or away. And my other grandparents, Tom and Nancy, this year, normally they go to Arizona, but this year they wanted to stay in Rapids and watch my senior year here. And no, I gotta owe a lot of thanks to them and everything they've done for me, because they've bought me hockey equipment, they've bought me hotels and drove me around places. So no, they're really thankful for what they've done, and all the little stuff definitely doesn't go unnoticed, and thank you to them.
Oh, absolutely. So, hey, huge thank you for taking the time to spend with us. A huge thank you to the Blue Line Club, to the parents, to the Grand Rapids hockey community, and especially to what you mentioned, the sponsors that you see around the rink, the people that give money to the Blue Line Club so that you guys can have a nice bus when you go places, that you can have nice hotel rooms so you're not loading 5-6 kids in a room. These people take care of you, and a huge thanks to that. But a real big thank you to spending some time with us here today, Jack.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.